Hello and welcome back to another Brew.0 Tech Tutorials, our continuing series on creating your Carrollton High School literacy portfolio. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add contents to your portfolio. This is something that will happen in each of your classes, and so the contents that you add to the portfolio will be different depending on the class that you're taking, the level of the class, and even your teacher. But eventually, you should have one piece of evidence, literacy evidence, from each of the classes in each grade level that you take here at Carrollton High School. So today I'm going to talk about how to set up the essay or the project so that you can share it, and then also how to add the page on your website in order to share it. Whenever it's time to add a product to your website, the best thing to do would be to take the essay or the project, and I'm going to work on this essay and this project here, and create a copy of it that is just for your literacy portfolio. So if this is the final version of your Laws of Life essay, in 9th grade you'll write a Laws of Life essay in your language arts class. And if this is the one you want to put into your portfolio, what I suggest that you do is you make a copy of it that says specifically that is the one for your portfolio. And the way that you can do that really easily is right-click or two-finger click, and then click on Make a Copy. And it'll ask you to give that copy a name. And rather than just leave it called Copy of Laws of Life Essay, I would rename that file Laws of Life Essay, and then put the word portfolio right next to it. And the reason that you want to do that is that if you were to go back to your Laws of Life essay and start making changes, you wouldn't want those changes to show up in your portfolio until you're sure that they are the changes you want to make public. And then this version of the essay or the project, you're going to put into that literacy portfolio folder that we created in the last video, and that also contains your portfolio website. And you can see that it's right there. Now, that's ready to put in your portfolio, except for one thing. In order for this essay to be visible to people on the internet, you need to share the essay so it's visible to other people. And the way that you can do that is by right-clicking on the file or two-finger clicking, and then click this button right here that says Share. And when you click this, you can see that this one is set so that anyone at Carrollton City Schools with the link can view. That means that your teachers and your counselors could see it and your fellow students could see it, but it means that college entrance officers won't be able to see it when it's time to apply for colleges. So if you want to change that, you can click down, click on More, and you can choose either on public on the web or anyone with the link. And that way, if your parents or if your college entrance officers want to see your writing, they'll be able to see it on your website. So go ahead and do that while you're here, and that way you won't run into trouble later. Once you've done that, it's time to add it to your portfolio. And in order to do that, you're going to open your portfolio website, which is right here. Now, remember that in the last video, we created these tabs, but we didn't create a place to put the actual papers and projects that you're going to put into the portfolio. In order to do that, and we're adding to 9th grade right now, we're going to go to Pages, and then right here on under 9th grade, we're going to click this little snowman buttons here on the right, and we're going to tell it that we want to add a sub page. And when we add that sub page, it's going to create another page like the ones we created before, but this one will be embedded underneath 9th grade. And because this project that we're adding today is the Laws of Life essay, which is a 9th Lit essay, and it's a personal narrative, I'm going to call it 9th Lit. And actually, in your literature class, you're going to have two different papers. So for the name of the page, I'm just going to call it 9th Lit Paper 1, and click Done, and it'll create it. And you can see over here that it's part of the 9th grade literature structure, and right here it shows up underneath 9th grade literature. And so leave that called 9th Lit Paper 1 over there because it's a nice short name to see as this menu item. But right here, I'm going to go ahead and change it to Laws of Life because that's really what I'm putting in here. Laws of Life essay, and if you want to give it a subtitle, you could tell it what kind of essay. This is a personal narrative essay, and I really like that. If it shows up on 2 lines and you don't like that, you can adjust the look of this by stretching it in both directions until it fits on 1 line, and I like that look there. So now you have this space that's ready, and then you're going to add 2 things below this. One is the essay itself, and I'll show you how to do that, and the other is a reflection on the essay, the process of creating it, and what you learned from the process of creating it. And the instructions for these reflections will be slightly different based on the project, so ask your teacher about what they expect in the reflection. In the English department, we have a basic set of instructions, and it's usually something like this: 1 to 3 paragraphs in which you talk about what the product is, why you created it, and what you learned from creating it. And so you could write that here, and remember that you can always add text either by going to Insert and clicking on Text, or by double-clicking and selecting the text box there. So this is our little reflection here, and then just below the reflection we want to put the essay in. Now you could copy and paste the essay from your Google Doc into the site, but that looks a little sloppy. It doesn't maintain the MLA format and all the good work you did in citation. So instead of doing that, we're going to choose this button over here that says From Drive. You can also do that here, From Drive. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that file we created. And we know which one it is because it's the one that's called Laws of Life Essay Portfolio. And we're just going to choose that. If we click here, we might be able to just look at Recent. And since we just created that, it'll probably show up here in the recent files. And there it is, Laws of Life Essay Portfolio. If we click on that and insert it, it'll put it right here. Now you might be worried because this looks like an image and you can only see part of the essay. You can stretch it out a little bit, but I want to show you that actually this is just a preview of the look of this essay. And if we go to publish and go ahead and publish this, we can see what it looks like to people on the web. And what it looks like when people go to it on the web is it puts this really nice little viewer, and it loads the essay up in the viewer so that they can see it in the beautiful format that you put it in when you submitted it to your teacher for a grade. And so that is how to add a project. And I'm going to do it one more time with a different project so you can get an idea of how quickly you can do this. I'm going to go over here, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of the Mongol Empire project. This is one I'm very proud of from my world history class. Rename it. Put it in the folder and come over here. Remember 9th grade, add subpage, and this is my world history class. And since I only have one product there, I really don't need to call it page 1 or paper 1. Change this to the title of the project, underneath what it is. Down here, add text and write your reflection. And then just below that, double click From Drive. And once again, if I go to Recent, if you can't find it in Recent, you can find it in your folders. You can even search for it here. Go to Recent, the Mongol Empire, and plug it in. And then since this is a presentation, you might decide that you want to resize it to fit. And always make sure you hit Publish at the end of the process so that all the changes you've made are public on the web. And that's how you add content to your student literacy portfolio. Thanks a lot.